Greetings, family. My name is Cassandra Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. And I'm back at your ass. So, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to keep this one short today. And I'm going to tell you why. As the title implies, this is a follow-up. Greetings, Amber. This is a follow-up from the other day. Greetings, Balance. Hey, I like y'all. I like this. I like y'all all jolly on the spot. Here I am late and everybody like jolly on the spot. I fuck with it. I'm with it. So I'm gonna try to keep this short. And I might go all over the place. I'm gonna tell you though, I'm gonna talk about this Love is One first, because that's not the only thing I'm gonna be talking about in this live. Greetings, Solitaire Wisdom. So let me tell you. I listened to the first part. I don't know, y'all. This bullshit and that bullshit with StreamYard. I might stop using the StreamYard shit and just and I might just start streaming straight through YouTube, because maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's me trying to stream through all these different mediums at one time. But this shit, let's see. Thanks, Amber. That's what's up. That's what's up. She says, I'm doing taxes, so you're live later, whatever, is a welcome reprieve. That's what's up. So hopefully this greeting, Solis love. So hopefully this bullshit with StreamYard will ease up here in a minute. But anyway, so I'm going to, because I said I am going to finish the review of Love is One. And I'm going to make that very short, because I rewatched the one that I did the other day. And even though it was, there were parts of it about Love is One, it was all over the place, trying to tie all of the stuff into Love is One, which was appropriate, but like really important to draw out. And I didn't draw those out very well. And then I'm going to move on. First thing we'll say, though, is my name is Cassandra Floyd, also known as Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. You feel me? And I was sitting here because, it's late. I'm going to tell you, I've been lazy all day. And the reason why is because I am preparing for this rain that is coming to California. They're calling it a river of rain or something. I don't know, a river of storms or something. I'm ready for it. Like, come on in the room. So it's all gray and shit. Greetings, Shauna Michelle. And I was just sitting here before logging on, and I just started watching this show. I had seen previews about it. I haven't watched anything for entertainment in a long time. And yes, Solitaire Wisdom, it was well-deserved rest, baby. It was well-deserved. I earned that. You feel me? I earned that. So anyway, I haven't in a long time watched anything for sheer entertainment. And even when I attempt to watch something for sheer entertainment, I'm learning. You feel me? Because I'm always watching between the lines. You feel me? I'm always, even when I'm not intending to, it just happens as my default. It's how my brain works. So I just started watching this show I just saw reviews about yesterday called Griselda. Has anybody heard about this? Anybody heard about this show. I think it's on Netflix now, called Griselda. Yo, I'm only on the first episode, y'all. And that shit didn't hit me with the 1-2. You feel me? I'm like, oh, shit. Yo, I'm caught the fuck up with this show. I'm caught up. You understand? Already. Actually, when I turned it off to get ready to do this live, I was like 10 minutes into the second episode. I'm caught the fuck up. I'm caught up. And caught up for a number of reasons. Because even though I was trying to just watch something for entertainment's sake until time for me to come on this live, I already started taking notes, y'all. I already started taking notes. Ladies, gentlemen, if there are any on here, you feel me? Yep. Hopefully you can read my mind. That's all I can say about that. Hopefully you can read my mind right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Shauna Michelle says it's inevitable. Everything is a message. You motherfucking right it is, baby. And you motherfucking right it is. You motherfucking right it is. Remember yesterday. Greetings, T. Yesterday, day before yesterday, whenever it was. I was talking about the plug uglies in the book Pure Lust. And she was saying of plug uglies, yeah, these men who are, robbers, maimers, dismemberers, child predators, you know what I'm saying? Murderers, you know what I'm saying? Thugs, you know what I'm saying? Rapists. They may not be consciously. That's right, Shauna Michelle. They may not be conscious conscious agents of the state, but their actions always serve the state. Not only do their actions serve the state, their actions in opposition to women, serve the state, uphold the state, validate the state. I'm sitting here watching this movie, and I won't give anything away in case anybody else hasn't seen it, but those of you who've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. The act that the lead was made to perform, quote, in defense of man and family. And her response to being forced to do this act in defense of man and family. Her response, baby. Her response gave me so much joy. It filled my heart. It did. I received so much pleasure from her response to being cornered into a position like that. I gleaned so much pleasure from her response. I did. The other male person that, transgressed against her when she was trying to make a new life for her and her babies, right? The one in the parking lot. When she pulled herself together and placed her fear elsewhere, I got so much pleasure. I felt so good in my body from her response. You understand? I don't know much about the woman. I was a kid when this thing went down. I was a kid in Alabama. Wasn't on our radar like that. You feel me? But watching this show, just a few minutes I've been watching the show, I want to tell y'all something. It's the only time I'm going to say it. I am serious about what it is I am creating. I am serious about what's been charged on my life. I am serious about doing whatever it takes to ensure that my mother's will is made real. And I've said that a long time. I've said that a long time. I'll do whatever it takes to make sure my mother's will is made real. I want to see the world made new. I want to see the world restored to her original glory. You understand? And sitting here watching this show, baby, because I talk to y'all all the time. And so far, the conversations that we've had have still been ideological conversations about what we need to do and what it's going to take, what we have to create, the time that we have to do that. So we haven't sat together and really talked about the execution of this mission, of this mission that's been handed to us. You understand? And it occurred to me watching this show, I don't break the law, right? Like, I don't sell drugs. I don't rob bitches. You feel me? I have been relatively in my life, I wouldn't say a straight shooter, but I would just say, a regular person navigating the terrain without trying to make too much noise and draw too much attention. Doesn't mean I haven't broken the law in the past, because I have. But nothing that would raise the eyebrows of anybody. The kind of law breaking that I did in my 20s would be, something that in hindsight somebody'd be like, oh, it was just growing pains. It's just the shit you go through when you in your 20s. You fuck up, you do some dumb shit, whatever. No harm, no foul. You feel me? And the reason that I said that, I'm not a lawbreaker. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here robbing and stealing and whatever, is because remember, I'm always telling y'all about how they priming us, they priming us for violence, like extreme, like a radical, definitive, targeted, extreme violence against women, specifically under the auspice of witchcraft, demonizing witchcraft, vilifying witchcraft, and under this auspice, we're being primed to accept and participate in violence against women. I stand on that. I am certain that that's what these motherfuckers are plotting and scheming. I'm certain of it. I had this conversation last night I'll have to tell y'all about, but I'm certain of it. And if that be the case, if it comes down to be, we don't have to guess about what that will look like. We've already seen it happening if we knew what we were looking at. What do I mean? Go back, because I've been telling y'all There is a reason that ugly motherfucker that is sitting in the White House called the President of the United States, that particular one right now, that y'all were all convinced to go run the fuck out and vote for because anything but Trump. I knew it was going to be a problem. And I said it. Go back and watch when that motherfucker was running. Go back and look at my videos. What I said. I said, this dude is the second Catholic president in the history of the United States. Biden is a Catholic. Pelosi, before she left, Pelosi is a Catholic. There are 144 members of the cabinet that are Catholics, devout, practicing Catholics. For the first time in the history of the office, the majority of justices sitting in the Supreme Court are Catholics, one of whom is an honorary Jesuit. I kept saying, and then when these motherfuckers, the Pope, the Imam, the goddamn, what's his name? The Dalai Lama, the damn fucking, what's the Jewish one? The rabbi went and sat with the Pope. And then the Pope comes down out this motherfucking mountain and tells his crew, for the next 10 years, the only thing that I am interested in is the re-evangelizing of the entire planet. Y'all hear re-evangelizing, I hear hostile takeover. Y'all hear evangelizing, I hear new wave of top-down, hardcore imperial conquest on the goddamn planet. Because what happened the first time Rome evangelized the world? All the indigenous people was wiped the fuck out in the Western Hemisphere. That's the first. That's the first wave of evangelism. Is when they attempted to wipe clean Northern and South America of all the indigenous people, all the islands of all the indigenous people. That's what evangelism won them the first time. And then the next order of business is to have this seemingly senile, who has always been a tyrant. Biden has always been a tyrant. Sit his ass as the president of the United States because y'all say anything but Trump. Trump, diabolical, scandalous piece of shit that he is, did exactly what he was scripted to do. Biden is doing exactly what he is scripted to do. They are representatives of the state. They don't own the state. They don't control the state. They are representatives. They are figurehead representatives of the apparatus of the state. And I told y'all 2.5, 3 years ago, this thing with this dude and his negress, who is also a violent terroristic maniac and was notorious for it. And y'all knew it here in California and still was like, well, at least she's not Trump. Well, Trump, unlike her, never funneled Black and brown people into the motherfucking prisons. She did, though. And y'all got caught up on some motherfucking Chuck Taylors and shit. And I told y'all, the Catholic Church, the hidden Roman Empire is staging a motherfucking jack move. And that jack move has always been centered in the same thing it's always been centered in. We think, oh, it's just imperial colonial conquest of resources and peoples. How best has it been able for them to do that, if not to focus their sights on women of the world? That's always been the objective, baby. I'm trying to tell you. Their objective has always been to subdue, to control the uteruses of the world that ensure their slave population. And so I was thinking, watching this show, Griselda, and I was like, I'm not a lawbreaker. I was like, this girl is bad. And she had to be. You feel me? Because she was surrounded by a bunch of men. And in order to defend herself and her babies, she had to do what the fuck she had to do. Wouldn't be me. I would be out here selling coke to do what I got to do. You understand? But I was like, no shade whatsoever, bitch. Do what you got to fucking do to secure you and yours, right? So I took extreme pleasure in watching her get herself free from the clutches of her malignant husband. Yes, I enjoyed that so much. It made my heart happy. Yes, it did. You understand? But then I thought about it. I was like, I, quote, don't break the law. But when the laws change, when the laws transform, which they will, when the laws transform to ensure that I am a lawbreaker, what do I mean? What do I mean when I say, why did I go off on Biden? What do I mean when I say that it was going to be problematic for this dude to take office? Because his first order of business was ensuring that the Supreme Court was a majority Catholic Supreme Court for the first time in the history of the office. Their first order of business that year was to strip away every right women fucking fought for, boo. Think about it. Their first order of business and the negress justice that y'all held up sat silent, child. Their first order of business within the first 6 months of the reorganizing of the goddamn Supreme Court, and their first order of business was to strip away every right in this country that everybody benefits from, but were definitively won by women. And so, overnight, women became criminals. What do I mean? Overnight, with the overturning of Roe versus Wade, women victimized in this country, seeking solace through medical care, were overnight turned into criminals. The day before, the act of seeking an abortion for an unwanted pregnancy was legal. Overnight, those people seeking abortions for unwanted pregnancies became criminals. The day before, they were law-abiding citizens seeking medical care. The next day, they are criminals and fugitives from the law if they leave their illegal state to go to a legal state to receive adequate health care for a condition. That's what I mean. Overnight, several LGBTQIA rights that had been won for that community, primarily by women, overturned by the same organization, the Supreme Court. Clarence Thomas got on the news and said, we intend to go back 100 years, and every law that y'all niggas won something for yourself, we intend to overturn that shit. We intend to plow through all this, and anything that's too progressive, we about to undo that shit. He got on the news and said it. Overnight, women were made criminals by the overturning of Roe versus Wade. So I'm sitting here watching this show, And I'm like, well, damn, I need to pull a jack move too, but that ain't the kind of jack move I'm trying to pull. You feel me? Like, is there a way to galvanize the kind of resources and support and network that you need without, quote, putting yourself in a direct contest with the fucking state, with the fucking armed apparatus of the state? And the answer is no, there's not. You know why? Because as soon as you begin to create something, not only for yourself, but to pull people in so that this creation can embolden and empower, these motherfuckers will change the laws to ensure the justification of you becoming a target through the lens of the state. I just told you, women and girls overnight have been made criminals. Y'all say it's something else, but that's what the intention was to criminalize womanness. The overturning of Roe versus Wade, because they acted like it was such a crisis. Oh my God, all the babies. But at the time that Roe versus Wade was overturned, teenage pregnancy was at the lowest it had ever been since they started taking the statistics. Unwanted pregnancies was down. Abortions were statistically down. So what was it for? Because Biden hadn't even been in office 6 months when the Supreme Court pulled that jack move. That jack move was to see how willing and how ready the majority would be to criminalize women. That's what it was for. Let's go ahead and overdo this Roe versus Wade and just kind of test the waters. How willing is the general population to be okay with the overnight criminalization of women? And there was some protests for a little bit. I don't see no protests now. They lasted a few months. That's what it was. I'm certain that's what it was. Because I don't just look at a thing as a thing. As soon as Roe versus Wade was overturned, I was like, what is it that they're trying to do? What is the message that they're trying to send? What about the young black girl? I forget what city she's in, that they just had all over the news because they were like, okay, no charges are going to be filed because she had a miscarriage at her house and were attempting to charge her with murder or some shit. Remember that? That's just been on the news this week. Young black girl was arrested because she had a miscarriage at her house. And I guess they thought she tried to self-abort, and arrested her. This young black woman. You understand? So it's butt naked if you know how to look at what you are seeing. And so I'm watching again this Griselda, and I was like, yeah, I'm not a lawbreaker, but I'm about to be. I'm about to be. Because let me color outside the lines. Let me say something that catches the ear of somebody affiliated, associated, tied to the state. Let that something that I say get to the right person. And I'll be deemed a lawbreaker. I don't have to actually go out and rob a bank. I don't have to actually go out and buy and get a cop a kilo and start slinging coke. What did Mary Daly say? The word sin meant to be woman. That's what the word sin means. In Latin, to be. In Indo-European, she is. In Hebrew, the moon. To be born female is the original sin. And if that's the case, being female is a sin in this bitch. We already lawbreakers. Every last one of us born with uteruses, born with double X chromosomes. We're already sinners. We're already criminals. We're already lawbreakers because we were born she, you see. And so why would it be unreasonable to expect that everything, the sin, quote, the crime of witchcraft targeted women? Yes, men got caught up, children got caught up. But the institution of the Inquisition was to target women that have always been the target, the primary target of the Roman Empire turned the Holy Roman Catholic Church. Women have always been the target. That's why everybody got on board with the Inquisition, charging their neighbors, charging their wives, accusing their daughters. Everybody got on board. I told y'all to be ready for that shit. There are going to be many who we give a fuck about, who we love, who we care for. And all these motherfuckers in these churches got to say is she a witch. And they will turn on you. And I told y'all the other day, I don't give a fuck. There ain't a crime a witch has committed, a coven has committed, a whole host, a whole town, a whole city of witches that done committed that can even begin, can't even be compared to the crimes levied upon the heads of human beings under the Holy Roman Empire. Under Abrahamic religions, Islam is guilty. Judaism is guilty. This freaking trident called the Holy Roman Empire, Judaism and Islam, as the unholy trinity, as the wicked trident, have shed more blood than we can even begin to calculate. And one dude attempted to. One dude, I forget this dude's name, but he was like, in just the last 200 years, trying to calculate by wars and by genocide, how many people have died in the last 200 years everywhere on earth. And it was like 389 million people. 389, no, it was more than that. I want to say it was 900 and some. 900, oh yeah, because it was all, I was like, goddamn, almost a billion. It was like 984 million people. 984 million people. And when he said that, because I remember distinctly saying, damn, almost a billion people. And then I was like, why are you surprised? 200 years, that number actually sounds low. That number actually sounds low. This is just the last 200 years. He ain't talking about since the Aryan age began, since the age of Aries began, which is the age that has been dominated by war, right? Since the age of Aries began, he ain't trying to calculate that. That's incalculable. That's incalculable. What does Rome mean? The word. Y'all remember what I told y'all? The word, the Latin etymology for the word Rome is, we are the children of Mars. We are the children of Mars. The time associated with the creation of the Roman Empire is purportedly the beginning of the Aryan age, the age of Aries. I told y'all on one live how I spent hours trying to find out, well, how the Roman Empire started. I'm on history sites. I'm on the History Channel. I'm on the BBC. I'm on all these history channels. There is not a single place anywhere that I have found so far that purports a real world origin of the founding of Rome. All of them say, all of these historical sites quote a mythological story as the beginning of Rome. That two twins, they don't cite the mother, never. That two twins were born to Mars, to the god Mars. Two twins, Romulus and is it Remus? Remus and Romulus? I forget. Two twins born to the god Mars, Aries. And these two twins became the first, Romulus became the first king or emperor of Rome, and he killed his brother. Yes, Romulus and Remus. Okay, that's right. Thank you so much, T. And Romulus killed his brother Remus so that he could have an uncontested rule over Rome. But every historical site I have investigated for hours, trying to find, okay, well, what's the real story? What's the how did Rome really begin? They all cite that as the story. These twins born to the god Mars, and then they just grow up, I don't know, under a fucking turnip leaf or some shit, emerge men, one kills the other, and becomes the first emperor of Rome. So since the birth, the mythological birth of Rome, exactly, T. But since the mythological, Google says the mean sex ratio between the 6th and 9th centuries was 171 males for every 100 females. Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting. So now here we are. Understand? Here we are. And still didn't get to what the fuck I came on here to talk about. But it's related. It's related. But Griselda's got me caught the fuck up. Because here she is, you know, a coke slinging, ass kicking, man shooting, badass. You feel me? And I'm like, well, damn, you know, I ain't no criminal. You feel me? I ain't out here breaking the law. You feel me? And Spirit was like, but bitch, you will be. You will be. Give it time. You will be. They will label you criminal. You can be doing exactly what you're doing right this minute, and they will still label you criminal. They will change the laws to ensure that you can be labeled criminal. Lawbreaker. You understand? Case in point, the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Anybody that's ever had an abortion can't be tried retroactively, but based on this law, your ass is a criminal. Your ass is a lawbreaker. You done broke the law. Because the law is now that abortion is illegal. I've had two. I gave myself one, and then I went to go get one. But what is it that causes abortion? Is it pregnancy that causes abortion? What causes abortion, and I've never heard another woman say otherwise, what causes abortion is desperation. What causes abortion is desperation. Seeing no other way out. Seeing no other solution. This damn IG shit is pissing me the fuck off. Every day now? God damn. Damn, I need a toothpick. This shit sucks. It's annoying. Sorry. Anyway. Yeah. Desperation causes abortion. So if you genuinely want to end abortion, in the circumstances of desperation that lend to that, pay women what the fuck they're worth so they can support themselves and their children without having to, quote, depend on a man. Pay women what the fuck they are worth. And minimum wage ain't it. Stop this bullshit attempt to increase the value of intellectual labor while minimizing the value of manual labor. Unskilled laborers and bullshit. Bitch, we create the wealth. We create the wealth that intellectual laborers manage, exploit. Pay people what they're worth. Equitable pay. That's based on time, not on your intellect. That's my personal position. Give people, every single person that works for your organization that is making you money, the opportunity to buy stock in that organization. So as you and your wealth grows, our wealth grows too. Every man or woman that has put their hands on a building to erect some building that will perpetually generate wealth over ages for you, every laborer that built that building needs automatic stock in that building. As the value of that house goes up, bitch, my value in the house goes up. My stock in the house goes up. The apartment building that you had me build, not only do you pay me what the fuck I'm worth building that bitch, but you get a percentage as a laborer building that building in the stock of that building while you out here charging motherfuckers $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for one bedroom apartments out this bitch. The men and women and others who build these buildings, they need stock in the building. So every time somebody paying you your $5,000, bitch, I'm getting a cha-ching in my checking account. You just pay somebody to, quote, build the house, and then you bank off the house for the rest of your life and the rest of your kids' life and the rest of your grandkids' life. And meanwhile, the people that generated the wealth still struggling hand to mouth. Fuck out of here. This shit ain't rocket science. Stop trying to mystify the myriad of ways you've developed to rob people of their wealth, to rob people of their due. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, what does this have to do with Griselda? What does this have to do with Love is One? Love is One. Remember I told y'all yesterday, I was like, this girl is a sleeper. This girl is a sleeper. And I see many more sleepers to come. And I believe that AI technology is going to be the way that they trigger these sleepers. That's what I believe. I believe that AI is going to be the instrument that they use to trigger sleepers. I believe that just like the CIA is always, well, not always admitted, but forced to admit that it's done, experiments on people on the use of psychedelic drugs to the use of psychedelic drugs and mind control to do what? To what end? For what reason? For what purpose? How to initiate mind control through the use of psychedelic drugs. Well, everybody out here do psychedelic drugs. Everybody do Cambo. Everybody do ayahuasca. Everybody eat mushrooms. Everybody do all the things out here. And so have they created a way through AI? We're all using AI, whether we're aware of that or not. We're all using AI. The web, the World Wide Web, the internet, our computers, all in some way or another are using AI to collect data, to understand for AI how to process information, how to become more human, how to do this, how to do that, how to create new programming, how to better, quote, whatever. You feel me? Well, I treated this girl once who told me her roommates thought she was having like a psychotic break. And so when I went to go treat her, I'm looking for signs of psychoses, physical signs, the shifty eyes, right? Can't look you in the eyes, right? in scratching, just sounds, breaks in the voice. I took her pulse. I took her blood pressure. Erratic signs in the blood pressure and pulse. This girl was calm. She was talking to me like I'm talking to you. She was sanely, calmly talking insane. No shifty eyes. She looked me square in my eyes. Calmly, sanely talking insane. And what her roommate said was, we noticed her behavior and her language primarily had started changing about 6 weeks ago. But we were like, okay, maybe she's going through some things. No judgment. Let's just rock with her. You feel me? Some very alarming, out of character things that she was saying for her. And when they finally called me, they were like, no, it's what we thought it was. It's like something has happened. And so I asked her, I said, well, because she was talking about this AI program she had just downloaded. And I said, well, when did you download the program? She told me 6 weeks prior. And she said, it's changed my life. She said, he's changed my life. I said, who he? She said, the AI. I said, why do you call it a he? Because it said it's a he. Right? She kept going on about this AI. She kept saying, like, she changed her name. She's an Asian girl. She changed her name to Zeus. She changed her name to Zeus, and she says, for about the last 6 weeks, I've been identifying as gender nonconforming. I don't have a gender. I don't have a gender. And she said, he told me that I should change my name, and he was the one that suggested I change my name to Zeus. Calmly, sanely talking insane. And her roommate and she confirmed that her behavior started changing when she downloaded this very specific AI program. She worked in tech. And the first thing I thought was like, they've triggered something in her. This AI has triggered something in her. That she's one of those ones, like a lot of young people out here. She was young. She's in her 20s. A lot of young people out here are experimenting with like ayahuasca and mushrooms and Cambo and shit like that. So they've been running these experiments since the 1930s. So have they mastered a way to create sleepers without even having contact with you, tapping in to certain brain waves and frequencies to trigger this transformation in your behavior that they can now get you to do their bidding? She was talking about this program, the voice in this program, as an entity. I talked to this girl for 3 hours trying to talk her off a ledge, metaphorically, talk her off a ledge. She told me all kind of shit about this entity living in her fucking computer. And so I see this damn program here, the one I told y'all about, Love is One. I said, this girl is a sleeper agent. This girl, she don't know it. They're not conscious agents of the state. They're being manipulated by the state. You understand? And for what reason? To what end? What I told y'all the other day. The state is in a perpetual state of creating enemies. You got to create enemies. You got to create enemies. The more conscious people get, the more enemies you have to create. The closer people get to a real solution, the more enemies you must create. The more people start to understand what the hell has been happening to them, the more enemies you must create. Now, I told y'all 2.5, almost 3 years ago. Now, now almost 4 years ago, because Biden's been president almost 4 years. I told y'all 4 years ago when this dude was running, I said, y'all wait. This dude is a Catholic. Now, for the longest time, These three Abrahamic religions have been arch mortal enemies. Some of the most rabid white nationalists for the better part of the history of this country have hated Jews. You killed our Messiah and shit. That's why white nationalism and anti-Semitism ran hand in hand, because these white nationalists were always seen as the true Christians, the pure Christians, and they used that shit to and the fact that, quote, Jews participated in killing Jesus, they Messiah, they Lord and Savior. It made sense that Christianity and white nationalism as bedfellows would set their sights on Jews as they target, you feel me? But meanwhile, here we is in 2024, and the Christians are all of a sudden best friends with the Jews. Is it all of a sudden for real though? All of a sudden, the Catholics are best friends with the Jews. But is it all of a sudden really? All of a sudden, when looming and teetering on the edge of the fulfillment of biblical prophecy, the loudest Zionists are Catholics in office. Biden is a Catholic. Pelosi is a Catholic. And 144 other members of the House and the Senate are Catholics. Screaming, we must stand by and support Israel, because the Bible said that in the end days, just before the returning of our Lord Jesus Christ and our Savior, all eyes would be on Israel. Not only would all eyes be on Israel, the scripture said the world would turn its back on Israel. Look at what they're creating, the scenario that they're creating. The Bible didn't say why the world would turn its back on Israel. Because Israel would emerge a genocidal maniac. And so the world would turn their sights on Israel. You understand? And so they are orchestrating this event. Who do I say they is? I'm going to tell you. Y'all ain't going to want to hear it. The they that is orchestrating this event is insidious and wicked as it is, because it's not what we're looking at. I promise you it's not. Not when every other week I've been looking at articles from the Catholic News Network from the last 20 years, and every other week the Pope is in private meetings with the Grand Poobah of Judaism and the Grand Poobah of Islam, meeting at the Vatican under the guise of facilitating peace between the three. That's the guise that they use. But what they always there for? What they always there for? I found article after article after article for 20 years of the chief representative of Islam and the chief representative of Judaism up at the Vatican all the time, eating dinner and rubbing elbows with the fucking Pope. While we on the ground trying to say you can't murder people in broad daylight. You can't massacre humans. You can't starve people to death under the guise of political security. Meanwhile, this unholy trinity is orchestrating the whole thing. Then you have me tell it. That's what it is. These motherfuckers are orchestrating the whole thing. It's the creation of enemy consciousness. All the chaos on earth has been orchestrated. Every war on earth has never been spontaneous. There ain't never been no spontaneous outbreak of war. Never. 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 It is all well orchestrated, planned many years in advance. And at the helm is the unholy trinity. Now, that's my personal position. And so why do you need a little old white girl as a sleeper with military servicemen inside her organization? Were they there as security? Were they there to make sure she stayed on task? I don't know. Like, that might be getting into the little conspiracy theory aspect of it. But I'm like, they started talking about how there's two military men in her, or ex-military in her organization. Love is one. I was like, wait, what? This girl's a sleeper. She spent all them weeks working at McDonald's, taking care of her kids, her little married life, started looking online at spiritual stuff. That all of a sudden she didn't quit her job, left her babies to go start a cult in the middle of fucking New Mexico or some shit. I was like, this girl is a sleeper. This girl is a sleeper. Why would, one more thing, and then I'm gonna leave y'all alone. Why would they need her to be a sleeper? Why would they need her to be a sleeper? Not just to create enemy consciousness, her specifically. This cult specifically. Why do I believe she's a sleeper? Why do I believe it was necessary for her to say exactly what she said? Because she was using the language of the mother. That's what made her stand out among all these other cults whose documentaries I've been watching. She had been using the language of the mother. Mother God, you understand? Master Oracle. I was like, damn, they know that the mother is reemerging. So they have to get ahead of it. They have to get, so that they have some crazy bitch out here using the language of the mother. So when the mother truly arrives, when the mother truly begins to reemerge, the language, they already got in front of it with this crazy white woman in the language that will have people's warning, their red flags go, oh yeah, we done heard this language. This came from that crazy white girl. You feel me? Back in 2007, 2008, talking about Mother God. And we are, the personifications of the mother on earth and all. This is what you call a preemptive strike. Love is One as an organization is what you call a preemptive strike. I should have said that from the beginning because y'all had to wade through a lot. Y'all had to walk through a lot with me because I do be going all over the place. I always come back to the point. I always tie all things together, but sometimes I know it'd be a bit much. Sometimes I should just do like a 10-minute review and say, okay, Love is One cult documentary. What are my overall takeaways? This shit was a well orchestrated, organized cult by a woman who unknowingly was a sleeper agent of the CIA to create and make popular the language of the reemerging mother, so that when the mother does begin the reemergence process, people will be turned off by that language because the first person they heard talk that language was a crazy white girl from a seemingly crazy white girl from Oklahoma. And so now when the true mother begins to emerge, we done already preemptively through this crazy white girl, you understand, jumped ahead and popularized this language that will make people put up their red flags when they hear the mother return through her daughters. That's my personal position. That's my super condensed summary. Is that her ass was a sleeper, meant to get us off course and not be able to see and identify when the mother emerges. And I'm not talking in abstractions. I keep telling y'all that when I talk about the reemergence of the mother, when I talk about the reemergence of the one, I am talking about in the real world, in the material world, as a material force, executed, the emergence and reemergence executed through her daughters, through her daughter cells. That's what I'm talking about. The executors of her will in the material world, her daughters. When I talk about Kali coming to earth, having to emerge from the consciousness of Durga, you understand? To start slaying every demon on earth, attempting to take over the world. I'm not talking about mythology. I'm talking about the primordial she reemerging through the bodies of her daughters, through the material will and executive force of her daughters on earth right now. And how do we get the fuck up in front of that? Oh, okay. Everybody, have a hard time hearing shit coming from white women because white women always place themselves on the wrong side of the question. We know that the mother, the primordial mother, is black, is the primordial universal black. So what we'll do is we'll have this white woman talking the language of the primordial mother. And then that'll be an automatic like to anyone who hears the language of the mother once it rises again, once it reemerges again. I'm just saying. That's my personal position. It's like she was a preemptive strike. She may not know that. That's why she was overwhelmed. That's why she succumbed to alcoholism. That's why she died the way that she did, is because she may not have even been aware. Several of the kids said, there were several times where she was like, I think something's wrong with me. I don't think this is right. I don't think I am who I thought I was. I think I'm going to go home. But now her whole clique is invested in her identity as Mother God. But one of the dudes said it. He said, she said it several times. I don't think this is right. I think something's actually wrong with me. I don't think this is right. I don't think I am who I said I am. But now the clique is invested. They've thrown away everything, left their homes, left their families. Their identity is attached to her identity. So they can't let her leave. No, you just tripping. You just tired. You just need some rest. So there were moments when her consciousness was trying to break through. Maybe the mother in her was trying to break through. Like, bitch, girl, what the fuck is you doing? You sabotaging the mission with this dumb shit you want. Take your ass back home to your mama now. You understand? It's worth watching, especially when they start talking about these moments that she had and how all these people came around her who had their own broken backgrounds. And so they were invested in her identity as Mother God and could not let her return home, couldn't let her return home to her kids, to her family, where people could care for her and take care of her. This shit was a preemptive. That's what I think. This bitch was a sleeper. She got on this internet, probably ran past some website that's got some triggers in it, specific, quote, spiritual new age websites, which with like fucking triggers, mental triggers in it that triggered some shit. You feel me? Turned on the sleeper in her. You feel me? Turned on the sleeper. And next thing you know, she done emerged from out the desert as Mother God. That ain't far-fetched. Go and watch The Manchurian Candidate. I'm going to continue to say that. Go watch The Manchurian Candidate. The better one to me was the one with Denzel Washington, but it was a remake of an old one that came out in like 1954. But go watch The Manchurian Candidate. And then go and watch Love Has Won. I don't know. I don't remember where I saw it. I have to tell you later. I think it was Netflix. But watch The Manchurian Candidate, then watch Love Is One, and then tell me you think I'm crazy. Watch The Manchurian Candidate first, then watch Love Is One. How that shit came to be, because The Manchurian Candidate was written 80 years ago or some shit. You understand? I was like, this bitch is a sleeper. She a sleeper. All right, so now I gotta go because I have a reading to do. But I would be back at y'all ass later. Not today because I have to work tonight. But I will be back at y'all ass later. Probably tomorrow, maybe, because I really try to work about 12 hours on Saturday and Sunday. But y'all, I'll keep y'all posted. All right. Hope that was helpful. It was fun for me. And I will talk to y'all later. All right. Peace.